Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
Take it back. Take it back.
I'm upset.
Why?
We didn't win one of the fake news awards.
Oh, sorry.
I was looking forward to
I do my best.
We tried to win an award on this show, and we are not on the list.
I wanted
Actually,
it for
I can't access the
acapella.
list. The list isn't even accessible right now.
I'm sure we're not on it.
The internet is broken.
Are you on my Wi-Fi?
I am on your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you can't get to the website that has the list of the prestigious...
Did it crash?
It did, apparently. Or it wasn't even a real thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep up with current events.
You're doing a bad job by checking this out.
It's award season, man.
Yeah.
All right, since we didn't win any of the fake news awards, maybe we'll win some other award.
Hey, we got things to talk about.
Do we really?
Well, it's mostly Rocky.
Yeah, you're back in charge of the show.
Yeah. Without rolling brownouts ruining it.
Yeah, well, rolling brownouts and great action on the movie that we watched. I hope people watched that movie. It was a great movie. It was the best movie. The news segment was great.
We've survived a flood. We've survived more storms.
Lots happened since the last time we were together. There was rain. My house leaked. Your basement leaked.
I got more leaks in my
Halibut
basement than
leak.
the Trump White House.
Somebody left the water running at the wharf and flooded downtown.
Yeah. Whatever. We've all survived. Everything's fine.
Yeah, we're here, alive, ready to go.
Get used to it.
I don't have anything else really to say in the moment.
I guess.
Other than we got a lot to go through in the show
Actually, we
tonight.
do. There is quite a bit of news in 7 movies. So I guess, let's skip the preamble and get right into the amble. Here's the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
To the surprise of no one, you know what's been announced?
I don't know.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, yeah. Shocking.
Set for 2020.
Okay. I like it.
This is the first movie from that kind of Phase 4 Marvel stuff that's been set yet.
Yeah.
And they did Phase 3, they just did a massive slate all at once. They're like, here's everything, plus the Inhumans. That's never going to happen.
Oh, the Inhumans.
Yeah, that definitely happening now. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 2020, James Gunn to write and direct, which will be his last movie. Actually doing an honest to God trilogy, even though there will be probably more Guardians movies after that.
Oh.
Speaking of Rocky,
oh yes,
the theme of this show, for Creed 2 or Rocky 8, depending on how you're counting, Ivan Drago's son has been cast. Because it's going to be Ivan Drago's kid.
This is a big beefy guy.
Yeah. Florian Big Nasty Munteanu. 27 years old, 6'4", 245 pounds of talent, according to Sylvester Stallone himself.
That looks like 248 pounds of swinging meat is what that is.
Yeah, he is a beast of a man.
That is lean. That is lean.
Yeah, he's a real fighter.
He's really jacked.
But he doesn't have a fighter's body.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 8.
Or 9. Just you can count the whole underside, I guess.
And then the striations, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, but boy, he's a big boy.
He's well put together.
I don't know how I feel about it. We've talked about, and I've said it, I'm looking forward to it, but the idea of kind of going back to something versus moving forward, I get the idea of having, Creed fight the son of his father's killer, but I'm still a little iffy on doing the Russia thing again, although it's timely.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Look, you get this kid involved in a PP tape, I'm on board.
Oh, no. What? Oh, my God. Why? Why?
Because it would be amazing.
I don't want to watch a PP tape.
In certain contexts, I apparently do.
Did you have a bad day at work?
In all fairness, not a lot happened. There was a snowstorm. It was a pretty slow day.
So you pretty much sat there and thought of things like, I wonder what it would be like to watch a PP tape.
Just in the context of Rocky 8 and Russians.
I'm at a loss for words.
That's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We can move forward. Can
we please? Yes.
I'm not even trying to connect the things. I'm just literally going down my list.
Yeah.
Shazam! Speaking of movie announcements.
Will Smith?
No.
Oh, I thought, what was Will Smith? Oh, no. Who was in Shazam? The Rock.
Yes, The
Friend
Rock.
of the show.
Black Adam. Well, maybe not this first one. But that's been greenlit for a day of April 5th, 2019.
Wow.
So apparently still moving forward with that. in the restructuring of the DC movies. I think they're just going to try and power forward / do a reboot within the continuity versus going, no, we failed.
Didn't you say you were thinking they would do it through Flashpoint?
Speaking of Flashpoint...
Ooh, I didn't even read your notes.
Well, I didn't write that one down. I got to pull up the laptop for that. Got that baby ready to go.
Oh, wow.
That happened today, and I just didn't feel like adding it.
Oh, okay.
Vacation movie directors, directing team of John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, are in negotiations to direct the Flashpoint movie.
Oh, wow.
Vacation, that commercial and critical bomb. So, yay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but it was supposed... I liked the trailer, but then all the reviews were like, this isn't funny and it's terrible. Like, well, I guess I'll skip it then.
Probably a good idea. I haven't.
I've skipped most of the Vacation sequels.
Well, no, like, what? After it's Vegas Vacation is the one that's after Christmas Vacation. And then before that, you had just like regular Vacation and European Vacation. That was it.
Okay, so I've seen... Well, if this one counts 5, I've seen 2 for 5.
The original and Christmas?
Yeah.
You didn't see European?
Never saw European.
Oh, European's decent.
Never saw it. I'm not really, hankering. It's not like that thing like, on my bucket list in life, European Vacation.
Oh, I'd love to take a European vacation. Yeah. Oh, you meant it's not on your bucket list to watch it.
Yes.
But you'd love to travel Europe again, because you've been to Italy.
I have been to Italy.
That's it.
So sorry, that's the only European vacation I took.
No, that's it. Question mark. It wasn't.
That's it. You just went to one country.
I've only been to England, so
yeah, there we go.
You've been further into the European area than I have.
Can I segue something from Europe? Not even close.
You've already used your PP tape, and you can't connect European with PP. So
let's do Fox movie news.
Oh, that's kind of close to PP.
As you even brought up last week with a potential other movie in the works, basically the Fox-Disney deal hasn't officially gone forward yet, so they're, until that actually is official, they still need to function like a business.
Yeah.
So there are some schedule readjustments, some normal, one terrible, and one movie announced that will never happen because of the thing, and a director quitting. Let's just get into all of it. Knock it all out. Deadpool has moved up 2 weeks.
I did see that, yes.
Only 2 weeks, that's fine. Ryan Reynolds announced it on Twitter with a photo of his swords with the new date, but his swords are apparently named Bee and Arthur.
I like it.
Which I look fine.
I like it.
I'm all for it. New Mutants, supposed to be out in 3 months.
That got pushed back?
10 months. It got pushed back 10 months.
That's a long time.
That is a bad sign.
Certainly not the sign that you're looking for.
Yeah. And not like... there's nothing. There's no explanation. There's nothing on reshoots yet or anything like that. But if you're pushing a movie back 10 months, it's not because you have great faith in it.
No, it's not.
The Gambit movie, also with Fox, has lost yet another director in Gore Verbinski.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was directing it.
Yeah, well, he's not, so don't worry about it.
Oh, cool. So I don't feel like I didn't know anything now.
This movie's also definitely never going to happen.
So my
After director 87 has left the project.
So my whole knowing who the director of Gambit was at the beginning of the day remains the same at the end of the day. No idea.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I still say, I'll do it, Fox. Give me the project.
What would you do if you got a call tomorrow saying, "Hi, is this Zach Bowen? We heard you want to direct Gambit."
I feel like absolutely not. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that absolute guaranteed failure in my life.
I mean, you open a comic book story, so.
Well, there we go. I've already had one. Deadpool director Tim Miller, Fox announced that they are in the works to make a Kitty Pryde solo movie. I'd be for it. You don't really know the character.
No, I don't.
I like her a bunch. She's been around since early 80s, I think. I'd have to date that. But yeah, it's a good character. It's a solid character. But again, I was like, cool. Let's all pretend that we're still a movie studio and we're doing things, and that it's not all about to fall apart when all the executives get rich and everyone who's working there gets fired. So hey,
yeah, good on them.
But that's a movie that will never happen. Should we do good news or bad news? I can hit a few of them.
Let's
on either direction.
Let's go. Let's do a little bad and then some good.
All right, bad. I'll start neutral. Bad or good. The Green Lantern movie is still in development even after the shakeup at DC.
Oh, okay.
Look, I saw the last one.
It's the only one.
Oh, yeah. Oof. It's a rough time. So sad that small cameo in Justice League was the best Green Lantern movie I've ever seen.
That's probably
I was also in Justice League, so that says a lot, too.
About how good.
Yeah, so I was like, yay, cool.
A little Amin Sewell.
Amin Sewell, but close.
Whatever.
And also he wasn't in there.
Oh.
But you tried. You reached for the stars.
And I landed on my ass.
You reached for Oa, and you got nowhere. It's a Green Lantern thing in space.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed the face.
I like mine better. You're like, you reached for the stars and I landed on my ass.
Legitimate bad news that confused me a little bit.
Okay.
Numbers for December came out, and without going into the specifics of each one, the overall comic market dropped 18.11% from November to December.
That's not good numbers.
That's a big drop.
That's almost a quarter.
That doesn't... Good job getting from 18 to 25.
Well, I mean, that's up there.
Yeah, that's massive.
All right, that's almost 20%.
You could just say it's 18. It's fine.
It's almost 1 in 5. It's a fifth. It's almost a fifth.
That surprises me a bit, just because, for me, and maybe people... The only rational explanation I can give for it is people doubled down in November to get ready for the Christmas season and weren't doing as much in December. November was also a 5-week month compared to December. Like most months, and it's whenever you get a 5th week month, like that 5th week is always this like sad week of like barely anything comes out because most comics are built on we come out week 1, we come out week 2, we come out week 3, we come out week 4. Whenever there's a 5th week month, it's like, and the rest. But November was a 5-week month, and maybe people were doubling down for the holiday season. But yeah, an 18% drop from November to December. I was like, that's not good. Like, I really buckled down, like, January to March. Speaking of which, if you want something, pre-order it, because my orders are small in those months. I don't go big on extras.
Ah.
So I can understand it for, like, January to March, but I'm like, December? 18%? That's massive. That's not good.
Like I said,
That's
it's
an ugly sign.
almost 1/5.
Yeah, so that's that was a concerning figure to see. I'll be curious to see what January looks like comparatively, but no real positive on that. Go buy comics because the market took a big old dip. Other bad news that may or may not be true. Reputable source, the Daily Mail,
That's really top of the line.
has reported that Stan Lee has been accused of multiple allegations of sexual harassment.
That's not good.
Yeah, this is only going back for like a year or two from a nursing facility that was working in his home where they were saying Stan would walk around naked, demand to be pleasured, or demand oral sex in the shower. And even, I watched the report that the Daily Mail put out, even the guy who was reporting it was like, no, he just might be old and might not know what he's doing. Like, that's not how that works.
No.
But also, I'm no expert on old man boners, but he's 95 years old.
They got pills, man.
I was gonna say, wouldn't he need to like, hey, I'm in the shower, get me the pill, and then do the thing.
Excelsior.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it's from the Daily Mail. A police report hasn't been filed, no charges have been filed, they've only reported it to the Daily Mail, so I'm taking this one with a fistful of salt.
So why even mention it on the show?
Because it came up, and I don't know. And part of, I don't know, the thing that like would be disappointing for me if it was real, it's not like, oh, he's such a great creator, he did all these things. Plenty of creators have been awful f***ing people. It's just that he seemed to have a really good relationship with his wife, and I'd be like, oh man, that's sad.
Maybe this is
I don't...
all after the fact.
No, she still would have been alive at this point when they're saying this potentially happened. Some of it's a little strange to me, too, because, if you've done any kind of in-home stuff or direct care stuff, especially with the elderly, they're like, he walked around naked. Guess what? You've seen some dangly balls.
Where's your head at, man? PP tape, dangly balls.
I've seen my share of in-home work. You get desensitized. It doesn't matter.
It's a person's cash and prizes, and it's I don't know.
I'm taking this one with a grain of salt. That's what's out there. If it's true, boo on you, Stan. But when your main source is the Daily Mail with apparently nothing else, I go, yeah, that's out there, I guess.
Something was out there apparently, according to the Daily Mail.
Other news, I guess we'll go in the direction of neutral to positive.
Okay, we're kind of
getting away from, old men in showers.
Thank you.
Brian Michael Bendis, his first story for DC. He's been in the news a lot recently with us.
Yes, he has.
His first story is going to be writing a backup story in Action Comics number 1000, coming out in just a couple of months. He won't be doing the main story, but he's going to have his first story in, a massively seminal book. So good for him.
Bravo.
Why not start at, a landmark? 1,000 issues of that book.
Good on him.
With Superman. On Hulu, Runaways has been renewed for a second season. Still haven't watched the first. Hopefully it's good. Runaways is a story as a comic that fell apart once they were kind of done telling their story, like the core original story, so hopefully that's not true for the show as well, but boy, did that book take a nosedive. I mean, it made it 24 issues before it took a nosedive, but, after the first 24, Don't read that book after issue 24 of the original run. Run low on stories, so we got 4 to go.
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, I like some Conan.
And he's all about the lamentation.
Yes, it's the best things in life are to hear the see your enemies driven before you and hear the lamentation of the women.
Yeah. That is a comic property who for 18 years has been gone from the ranks of Marvel Comics. Well, it's back, baby. They bought the license from Dark Horse.
Oh, okay.
So they bought it back.
Do they use Arnold's likeness as Conan, or
Not even close.
no?
Nah.
He's just a large barbarian.
No, he's just, I mean, he's always had a similar look
Conan.
within the books,
Does he push a giant wheel around like he did in the movie for like 10 minutes?
which is really strange because everybody else died from malnutrition and he got massive.
Yes, pushing a wheel.
Makes a lot of sense.
I don't understand how his upper body. I can understand like why his legs would be get swole, but the upper body.
Yeah, Conan's back.
And then like the person managing the wheel is just like not there anymore, and he's still pushing the wheel. Like, why didn't he run away?
Conan can be a lot of fun as a book, like big violence, big drinking, crazy over the top stuff. I think it's a fun book.
I think I need to get really ripped one night and watch Conan because I haven't ever really watched it well, like properly chemically enhanced with the liquid.
It's a fun movie. The first one's fun.
The first one's fun. Red Sonja and
Conan 2.
Conan 2. It wasn't Conan 2. It was what? Conan...
I forget the name now. It's Conan 2. I never saw the reboot. The one that was like 20... Or was it like 2009?
I saw a little bit of it. It has...
Momoa.
Yes, it has him in it, and it also has Hellboy.
Ron Perlman?
Yeah, he's in it.
Okay, I never saw
He's
it.
Conan's father.
Yeah. And there's been rumors for years about Conan 3 with Arnold returning one more time as like King Conan, like what they had for like that flash forward.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Conan is going to be back at Marvel. I'm all about it. I can't wait to read that because I'm not like a big Conan fan one way or the other, but if you give me something new, something fresh, I'll read it. And they teased it potentially crossing over the main Marvel universe. Like 2 images were released, like one of them just with like a big bloody sword, and another one of him with like Thor and Wolverine in the background. Why not? Go for it. Go for it, Rocky 5.
Oh.
They love saying go for it. News that I like, speaking of Conan, the woman who is currently writing the Wonder Woman Conan crossover, read it, it's really good. Gail Simone is going back to Marvel to write a Domino series. You're going to see Domino coming up in Deadpool 2. Character's been around since 91. Gail Simone, let's conservatively say the best Wonder Woman writer in the past 3 decades. I'm all for it. I like her stuff. She's good. She tweets too much, so I don't follow her. It would just be one of those people who would inundate your timeline with too many tweets.
TMT, that's what I call them.
Do you have,
TMT.
There's people that I like that I don't follow on Twitter, just like, you tweet too much. Like, I need to have a manageable timeline.
I either have like a flood of tweets in a short window, usually like around a sporting event, or like sporadic thoughts. I don't like tweet every hour on the hour.
In all fairness, I haven't looked at her timeline in a while, so maybe she's cut back. What the hell do I know?
Not much.
And then we have some synopses.
What?
So many synopses of upcoming movies.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a minute.
Han Solo, the Solo movie.
Yes?
Synopsis came out, which is boring and generic. Boy, I have a lot of faith in this movie.
Wait, let me guess. I haven't read it. Meet Han Solo, space renegade, and follow him on his adventure as he gets the Millennium Falcon or some bullshit like that.
Pretty close.
All right.
Board the Millennium Falcon and journey to a galaxy far, far away in Solo, a Star Wars story, Solo. An all-new adventure with the most beloved scoundrel in the galaxy.
Did you say all nude or all new? It sounded like all nude.
An all-new adventure with the most
just
beloved
clarifying.
scoundrel in the galaxy.
You've been in that space today, so I don't know.
Through a series of daring escapes within a dark and dangerous criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his mighty future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian in a journey that will set the course of one of the Star Wars saga's most unlikely heroes.
Oh, okay.
What a generic story that we kind of basically knew was going to happen.
So, nothing new, really.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me. It's like, yeah, it kind of sounds like what we thought the movie was going to be. He's going to do the Kessel Run and win the Falcon and blah, blah, blah. The one that did pique my interest a little bit more, Ant-Man and the Wasp had a synopsis released.
Okay.
Ant-Man, that movie that you both said you saw and didn't see on this show.
I saw parts of Ant-Man.
I caught you in a lie. One time you were just like, yeah, I saw it. Then like a week later, you're like, I've never seen that movie. And I was like,
Listen, I was just trying to get you off my goddamn back about Ant-Man.
I'm calling you out a year later.
Wow. You've been sitting on that one for some time.
Just festering.
Wow. Okay.
In all fairness, my comeuppance was minor. I'm like, ha-ha. You didn't see that movie from a few years ago. It's fine.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
From the Marvel Cinematic Universe comes Ant-Man and the Wasp, a new chapter featuring heroes with the astonishing ability to shrink. In the aftermath of Captain America Civil War, Scott Lang grapples with the consequences of his choices both as a superhero and as a father. As he struggles to rebalance his life with his responsibility as Ant-Man, he's confronted by Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym with an urgent new mission. Scott must once again put on the suit and learn to fight alongside the Wasp as the team works together to uncover secrets from the past. What kind of got an eyebrow raise out of me here is timeline-wise, they say he has to deal with stuff after Captain America Civil War, but this comes out after Avengers. This might, because, I said before, like, the only people who can survive Avengers 4 are Ant-Man and the Wasp because they have a movie coming out.
Yes.
So, sounds like this movie's going to take place before Avengers, which is, Marvel movies have never been released in chronological order by any stretch, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think
that they heard you say Ant-Man has to be safe, and they're like, oh, wait, let's watch this.
Also, speaking of Avengers, I didn't write this down. I was going to mention it off the top of my head. Don't look at the set photos for Avengers 4.
Don't?
Just don't.
It'll ruin it?
Yeah, it will ruin what I think is going to be a big part of it from everything that's been released. So just don't look it up. What's fun is, no one really knows what we talk. Like, I floated a thing at you. I was like, oh, I heard this internet rumor. And then I saw set photos. I'm like, oh, so it's not a rumor. And I had to cut it from the show, so I didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
So you heard it happen, but no one else did. Because that internet rumor was accurate. Yeah, don't look at the set photos, because it will spoil things.
Okay.
I have no interest in diving in deeper than that, just don't. But yeah, that's the news.
So you just did a public service, really, more than anything else. Because you just told people to avoid if you don't want it ruined for you?
Yeah, it's not like, oh, look at that fun new... like, it ruins plot points.
Okay.
Again, not doing deeper than that.
So maybe here's a lesson for you. Stop looking at set photos.
I'm personally fine with it. I don't care.
Okay. I just don't want you to be disappointed, oh, it's ruined for me.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
If I really am, I don't care.
Okay. I'm just checking on you. I'm here for your well-being.
But yeah, that's the news. There's a chunk. It happened. Things are over. But from there, let's go back to 1976 and then up to 2 years ago. Look, it's a long series. We're talking Rocky.
I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do best isn't very nice.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
So what is the genesis for why are we doing this topic? Not that I'm complaining. I love Rocky. Almost all of the Rocky movies. But why are we...
Half are fine.
Why are we doing this? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, because we reference it way too much. And there's a new Rocky coming out this year.
I don't think we reference it too much.
We reference it way too often.
It's part of Americana. It's woven into the fabric of pop culture in America.
It is. We bring it up constantly to the point where, at this point, let's just get it out. Get it out of the system.
Okay. All right.
And also, there's a new one coming up this year.
Yes.
Which helps. Rocky the First. Good review. I'm glad you jumped on that.
7 movies in one show is a lot. We're not going to dive into plot by plot, are we?
No. Just thoughts on each one.
I think this is, for me, it's in the top 3, probably, if not the best of them all. It just... the story is just it fit the time, it fit that era, the 1970s. And it was, it's such a romantic movie for a sports fan because boxing had this mystique about it. In the 70s, football was starting to get really big and TV, but for sports people that are really big time sports fans, boxing was the romantic sport. It's the sweet science, and they're weaving boxing into the story about essentially a bum from Philadelphia.
The American dream.
The American dream. Do you believe in the American dream, Rocky?
That guy has such a weird looking head. Every time I see that scene, I'm like, what a weird shaped head he has.
It is a weird shaped head.
He does have a weird shaped head. That random promoter, unnamed.
But it's so interesting how they used boxing as the vehicle. It's different than Raging Bull or I'm trying to think of another boxing movie off the top of my head, The Fighter.
I was gonna say who cares, but then you said The Fighter. I'm like, all right, fine. We've hit the 3 boxing areas that are worthwhile.
But it's tremendously different than De Niro and Raging Bull. This is first of all, Raging Bull is based on a true story, but the growth, what we see of Rocky, and I know you can't stand Adrian.
I don't. No, I like Adrian in the first 2 movies. It's once we hit movie 3, I'm like, oh, thank God, it's fun time herself here to nag at someone.
Yeah,
I can't wait for 3 movies of Adrian nagging and doing nothing entertaining.
Burgess Meredith in this was
Burgess
fantastic.
Meredith is the best damn part of these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. Fun Rocky trivia. This was written over the weekend. Stallone, fresh off of his porno, Weekend at Kitty and Studs, where he plays the aforementioned Stud, movie retitled The Italian Stallion.
Oh, okay.
He was broke, wrote a script, sold it, and said the only way he would sell it is if he could star in it. There's all kinds of like fun little bits in there, like the guy like hucking an orange at him that wasn't scripted. When he's going into the fight at the end where he's like, hey, my shorts are the wrong color, that was a legitimate production mistake. Like, they just didn't do it right, so they just incorporated it into the script. This is one of my like top 10 favorite movies of all time. This movie is near perfect.
The ending is right. It's the correct ending where he doesn't win.
There's a few weird scenes, like because I just rewatched it for the show. Like he takes Adrian out on the date, which also Paulie is so insufferable. He's the worst.
Oh, yes.
I get to the point where I'm like, does he really need to be here? But he takes Adrian out on the date, and then she tries to like leave his house, and he kind of like pins her in the corner with his arms and starts like forcefully kissing her. I'm like, this is weird.
This is a little uncomfortable.
This is a weird scene.
But I mean, it won Oscars. It was Best Picture. So, but it was also like it mirrored Sylvester Stallone. Rags to riches.
Well, he wasn't rich yet, but he get there.
Yes. Well, Rocky is exactly rich after the first fight. He gets money to make a comfortable living.
Fun random it just popped into my head. This was the director John Albertstein. I guess there were some like arguments on set of like how the like boxing should be going, so he sent Stallone away to go like kind of stage it with the script. This is the first movie to have staged fight choreography within the script.
Really?
Fun fact, 1976. Burgess Meredith, man, he is the highlight of this movie. Established actor Burgess Meredith. I love his dialogue. I love his casual Italian racism. But I was saying, I think when I said to you, like when you left, like when I was rewatching it, like I found a new favorite moment in that movie. He goes up to Rocky's apartment. He's like, hey, you need a manager. But Rocky kind of yells at him for a second. He's like,
you want me to fight the big fight? I'll fight the big fight.
Before that, what Mickey's like, I've always been looking out for. He's like, oh yeah, were you looking out for me when you gave my locker away?
Yeah.
You see this it's this profile shot of Burgess Meredith, and it's such a small reaction. You just kind of see his eyes like dart back and forth, and his face also sinks. So you see him like being like sad at this moment, but also like thinking immediately of like, how do I recover? And it's less than a second. I'm just like, he is a master actor.
Oh yeah.
It's incredible. He said the ending is legendary. Some of the punches, boy, they could have used some different angles on that because you can see like the wide swing of them.
And the miss.
Yeah, coming nowhere near like what's supposed to be contact. But that's nitpicky. That movie is...
Carl Weathers is really good in it.
He's so fun. He's always fun.
He's always fun, but he's like the perfect antagonist. He's not a villain, but he's like the antagonist. Well, I mean, not like he is.
Carl Weathers can play one thing, and it's basically that. He's the same character in Predator.
Yeah.
He can do that one, like, boisterous thing, which is fine. He does it really well.
He also is like that as Chubbs in Happy Gilmore. It's all in the hips.
Yeah, he can do one thing. He can do one thing really well, which isn't bad.
No.
I don't know, Rocky. It's one of those... The movie doesn't need a sequel, let alone 7 sequels.
Yeah. But they make money, man.
But boy, I love the first Rocky. It's one of those things you kind of go through it like piece at a time. I love that Rocky is a leg breaker that doesn't really like to do it.
Yeah. The bouncy ball.
I also love that he's an athlete who's just constantly smoking.
Yeah. And the raw eggs, the run, all the iconic stuff. The Bill Conti soundtrack.
That's incredible.
Especially going to the final round, you have the big gong, not the gong, but the chimes. And they had that disco feel kind of at the end. The bongos. You think about the bongos and the drums at the end of it. Yeah,
you can hear from movie to movie, the whole like "Gonna Fly Now" song becomes less disco as time goes on. They take out some of the parts that are like some kind of like funky guitar.
Yes,
but
you know what's funny is like, and we'll get to it when we get to Rocky 3, but everyone's like, oh yeah, the Rocky song, "Eye of the Tiger," that doesn't come out for another 2 movies.
Survivor. Rocky 1, man, one of the greatest movies of all time. I have nothing but good to say about that movie. I love it to death.
And you know what? The sequel lived up to the original in a lot of ways. Although it did follow a lot of the same...
It does. It has a lot of good moments, and it's different, and I like that.
All the Rocky movies, though, they follow the same formula. It's the same movie.
Well, wouldn't say Rocky 2 is to a point. But I love how Rocky 1 ends like him and Apollo are like kind of like hugging in the ring.
Rocky rematch.
Yeah, Rocky loses the fight, split decision. Ain't gonna be no rematch. 5 minutes into Rocky 2, there's a rematch coming.
Yeah.
Stallion.
Yeah.
That was my Carl Weathers.
Stallion.
I forgot to say Stallion. But I love that they show at the beginning of that movie like the kind of ramifications of like actual violence. Like these two guys are laid up in
the
a
hospital
for weeks from a 15-round fight. Also showing you back in the day, a 15-round fight.
Yeah.
Back when boxing was real. I don't care. It's fine. But I love Rocky going for like Rags to Riches doesn't know what to do with money. How he just burns through it in the stupidest ways. Buys a leather jacket with a tiger on it, a car he can't drive, leather bands, watches. Runs out of cash real fast.
Yes.
Has to do commercials where he can't read the cue cards.
Which
I put it on and it makes me smell mainly.
You gotta have a good watch to have a good time.
Ugh, Jesus. He's still a lovable idiot.
Which brings my point about what's gonna happen here, the transformation of Rocky.
Yeah.
So, some things about Rocky 2. The Turtles, which by the way, in Creed...
Cuff and Link?
I think so, but in Creed he has the turtle in his house.
Yeah,
He's like, is it the same turtle?
No, that turtle's dead.
Yeah, probably. No, I mean like in theory.
No,
or is
I
he
think
just
I think he
still
just
loves
likes
turtles?
turtles.
I like
I
turtles.
think Rocky just likes animals. Lover of all animals, Rocky Balboa.
But
He likes tigers.
He does. But the second movie, like, I don't know, there's a lot of things. But like, he's on his way to the fight, right? It's a world championship fight, and he's driving himself to the Philadelphia Spectrum, and he stops off to get blessed by the...
Hey, yo!
I just got a little bit married, you know?
I love that. Yeah, I love him getting married to Adrian. I love like him walking around the Philadelphia. This is just going to be a show of us saying, like, this is a thing I like. But going to the Philadelphia Zoo, be like, what are you doing for the next 40 or 50 years?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Tiger, we're getting married!
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the guys with the fire in a barrel are in Rocky 2.
With the what?
The fire in a barrel guys, take it back.
Oh, yeah, bring it, yeah.
Is that Rocky 2?
Oh, they're in both of them.
Oh, they are, yeah. The fight is just as good.
I don't think so. I think it's a little bit worse.
You don't like it?
It's mostly because of the ending. The ending is stupid.
Yeah, the ending is kind of contrived.
Which is unfortunate because usually the rule of cinema usually is you got to hook people within the first 10 and you got to leave whatever you leave them on the last 10 is going to be the feeling they go out of the movie with. In the last 10 minutes of Rocky 2, I'm just going, this is stupid.
How they both knock each other down.
Yeah.
And he's able to just barely get back up and then collapse back down afterwards.
Yeah,
and how dirty the canvas is.
The 10-second, like they both punch each other in the face. They both drop to the ground. There's the 10-second count. It's slow motion. And Apollo can't climb up after second number 9 and Rocky gets up. And it's a dumb end.
There's probably no way now either. Like they would let fighters fight with eyes shut like that and getting cut. And because I know there's still cut men and they still do. But they don't cut anymore.
I love that. Broke my nose.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole thing, like, I've never had a nose broken in all these fights. He broke my nose round 1.
Yeah.
So great.
He broke my nose again. It's still an improvement.
I love Mickey. Mickey is by far my favorite part of all these movies.
Oh, yeah. But you have the second fight, and, Adrian's not there. He wins the World Heavyweight Championship.
I love that there's, like, this weird continuity thing, and then Ketchum in the movie just goes, hey, so where's your hat? Because she had a hat, then she runs to him and the hat's gone. And I think they must have done that like an ADR or something. Hey, where's your hat?
Fair.
But, yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's not as good as the first one, but still a solid sequel. I like the emotional stuff of Adrian going into the coma. Love the training montage. Except, again, weird moment of, like, Rocky running through Philadelphia and all the kids follow him.
Yeah. There's also like the he's like no tricks, and he teaches him how to fight right-handed, and then he switches it up and fights left-handed again anyway.
Yeah.
But here's where it starts to get campy for me and
silly. He should have switched much earlier.
He should have,
like a few rounds,
like the second round,
maybe. Not like last round. Switch it up.
Has anyone ever like? I've heard people make the argument Rocky wasn't a good boxer. He just was so brain numb that he didn't feel the pain, and then just other boxers wore themselves out. I mean, was Rocky really a good fighter, or he just had a steel jaw and could take the abuse?
Hey, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Okay.
You walked into it.
I did. Just like walking into a strong right hand from Clubber Lang.
So yeah, Rocky 2, not as good, but still an enjoyable, solid movie.
And then somewhere between Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, the guy who can't read cue cards is now very smart, very literate, very well kept.
I'm not a fan.
Rocky 3 is...
Some people really like it. I'm entertained, but I'm not grabbed. Like, Rocky 1 just, like, top to bottom grabs me as, like, this great piece of cinema and important to, like, film history and all that. I watch Rocky 3, I'm like, I am watching a sequel.
Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 are Sylvester Stallone workout videos.
No, Rocky 4 is just a music video. It's over a quarter montage. No, really, time-wise it is.
Yeah,
but we're not there yet.
But you know what? I love Rocky 4.
I really don't.
Anyway.
I'm in the minority there. Rocky 3, what? So Rocky Stallone, now on steroids, like crazy.
Yeah.
He is ripped, like, in an inhuman kind of way, mostly because of the steroids. But he fights... Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Thunderlips.
You think you were going to see that in a Rocky movie?
Nope.
Rocky fighting Hulk Hogan?
In a charity wrestling match?
Yeah. The ultimate male versus the, like, ultimate meatball.
Yep, that's
what a
exactly.
lame insult. Calling him a meatball?
Can we please talk about his cool-ass hat, though, with the giant feather coming out of the back?
So, yeah, Hulk Hogan is a pimp in this movie.
Yes, Terry Bollea. This is really before Hulk Hogan really blew up, too.
There's a band inside the movie that knows the Rocky
theme. It's about the time
theme.
he was. Yeah, it's about the time that he was blowing up. I guess he had the Rocky theme.
There's a band that knows the Rocky. That's the moment that kind of like broke the franchise for me. Like, how?
Here's my thing about Rocky 2 is, and comedian Bill Burr says this, so I'm not going to take credit for it. I'm gonna cite my sources. Think about Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia. Their hero is fictional.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah,
still is to this day.
They rally around a guy who isn't real.
Yeah, I mean,
coming from the city of brotherly love, the city where the Liberty Bell is, and the founding fathers met. Their biggest hero, not Ben Franklin, not any of the members of the First Continental Congress. No, it's a fictional mob lackey who turns into the world's most successful boxer.
Look, the Liberty Bell's a little way down the street.
It's not that far from the Museum of Art.
No, it's not. Like, maybe a mile and a half.
Yeah, like, what, 20 blocks?
Something Rocky 3 does that we don't see in any other Rocky movie is we get to see, like, there's no montage in the fights. We get to see the full fights, which, just because they're over in a couple of rounds.
They're short, fat, yeah.
But this is the only Rocky movie where there's no fight montage, because, I mean, you literally, as much fun as it would be, like, we're going to see the whole thing, you can't stop a movie for a 45-minute fight.
No, you can't.
I guess I'd enjoy, but, you know.
Well, the majority of a boxing match isn't, like, lights out excitement either.
No. But, yeah, I mean, we get Mr. T in his first role ever, deciding that he had to be called Mr. T. He's not bad in it, but he doesn't get much to do. He's not set up with any kind of the nuance of Apollo.
No, there's no real... The one thing I think they missed with Clubber Lang is, like, give him a much more relatable story and give him, like... I don't know. He just falls short. It falls flat for me a little bit.
Kills Mickey.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mickey had some problems himself. I don't think he outright kills Mickey.
I also like how I'm watching that scene. I'm like, oh, Mickey was Jewish. Who knew? Like at his funeral.
Oh.
Didn't know until then. Doesn't really matter, but it's like there's some extra information for you.
Isn't his last name like Goldstein or something too? Yeah, so it's like...
I don't think we knew his last name until...
Really drive home.
Yeah.
But the other thing about like Clubber is like, for me, just... I don't know. There was such potential there. Because, I mean, Mr. T he was popular from the A-Team. And
no,
people
he hadn't done it yet.
He hadn't done A-Team yet?
This was his first thing, I think.
Oh, was it? I don't know. Fact check the show, but I'm lazy.
It said introducing Mr. T as Clubber Lang. Introducing usually means first role.
First movie role?
I think it means first role generally.
All right, stand by. I'm going to fact check the show. This is important.
And then we get the most homoerotic relationship in any movie ever.
You didn't like the beach running?
Boy, is that sweaty and muscular. Why doesn't Apollo's shirt go all the way down?
See, I was right. He was B.A. Baraka. Let's see. The A-Team ran from... Oh, maybe not. Ran from 83 to 87. Oh, yeah, 82. Rocky 3. So...
There we go.
He's also a member of the WWE Hall of Fame.
The training montage with Apollo is really strange, right? Like lots of close-ups of sweaty muscles. Apollo has a crop top. There's a lot of hugging in the dunes.
Do you know what Mr. T's real first name is?
Terrence.
Lawrence.
That was close.
You were very close.
Also, go look up his musical career where he sings a song about being good to your mothers.
Actually, Rocky III was not his first movie. His first movie, are you ready for this? It's a little movie called Penitentiary 2.
Yeah, that's a famous movie.
Let's see. It is a blaxploitation film. And it's a sequel to 1979's Penitentiary.
Yeah, no, and I figured there was a first one.
It's a boxing movie. Leon Isaac Kennedy is back. He's too fast, too quick, and too fisted. He's too sweet, and he's back for revenge.
Whatever. Rocky 3 is
Kind of want to watch this now.
it's a mixed bag. If it wasn't that it was a Rocky movie, it would be entirely forgettable. Rocky 4, the one that everyone seems to love, but I think is kind of stupid.
Mr. T was also in a movie in 1993 called The Terrible Thunder Lizards as Mr. T-Rex.
Oh my god. Polly gets a robot,
Happy birthday, Polly.
and then he has sex with the robot, I'm convinced. But yeah, so in this 1987 movie, they have artificial intelligence. Like, forget Siri and Alexa. It's all about Polly's robot.
Who Polly somehow is able to change the voice on from like the robot voice to a female voice. Here you go, sport.
It's a weird movie.
Rocky 4 is 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, but 92% on Google users.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't
1985.
85, I was a little off. Everyone loves this movie, but legitimately time-wise, it is over 25% montage. There's literally a music video in the middle of it. Rocky goes and drives a car around with flashbacks to other Rocky movies, plus thoughts of the movie that he's already been in, and it just lasts the length of a Survivor song. It's a music video in the middle of a movie.
He also climbs a very large mountain in Russia.
To a different Survivor song.
Yes.
There are 3 different Survivor songs in this movie. Weird. It's weird and bad, and I think it's funny that Rocky goes and he trains in the mountains of Russia, and they're like, Rocky is totally pure and naturalistic, even though he was shooting up steroids like it was his job.
Yeah, there's no way that lifting the ox cart with Adrian and Paulie and Duke in it, not happening.
You know, Adrian, the life of the party.
Let's see, a lot of...
Apollo dies. James Brown is in there.
Yes.
If he dies, he dies, and Rocky stops the Cold War. It's a mess of a movie. It's also insanely short. It's only like 90 minutes.
It's not very long. No, it's not. I'm just looking at some of the reviews, some of the user reviews on IMDb about it. Russia doesn't really look like Russia. The movie feels like a joke. Apollo's entrance to the match, Drago's lines like, "You will lose." It's so cheesy, it's actually too cheesy.
And Brigitte Nielsen was married to Stallone at the time.
Yeah. Oh, let me read this. Unbelievably bad movie. The only good Rocky movie was the first one. You know, the one Stallone didn't direct? When he's not showing off his perfect tan and perfect abs, Rocky is hamming up as a rich, vain guy. Gone are the personality traits that make him likable. Then there's the music video montage of Rocky and Apollo. Get a room, guys. The fight with Drago is worse than a Popeye cartoon. You know, Bluto just beats him until he cracks open that can of spinach. Now, if you don't believe me, count it yourself. Rocky got punched full force in the face 50 times in the first round. That's right, 50. During the course of the fight, he was punched in the face over 200 times. That's more than any boxer got tagged in their entire career. They would have been in a coma had this happened to them. End of story. Extremely crappy movie. Which, by the way, all those punches to the face lead to Rocky 5.
Yeah, boy, you know what? This guy did his math at least.
Yes.
I don't know. What are your thoughts? I don't like it, but I know you like it a lot more than I do.
I like Rocky 4. I don't know. It's fun. It's like if you're bored and it's on, you watch it.
It's just such a dip in quality. For a while, every Rocky movie for me is progressively worse. 2 is worse than 1. 3 is worse than 2. 4 is worse than 3. 5 is worse than 4.
Yeah,
it takes an uptick after that, but
a huge uptick.
Yeah, but yeah, Rocky 4, cheesy, short. I guess watch it if you're drunk.
Quick cash grab.
Ooh, that one Coors Light getting to you?
I'm tired. So now we go from the mountains of Russia to the streets of Philadelphia.
Director from Rocky 1 is back for the first time ever. A lot of things are back, but boy, is a lot of it bad. So apparently, when they were in Russia, Paulie,
who was in Russia with them,
lost all of their money. So now Rocky is back to being mildly poor in Philly. But
yes.
Does do a thing that makes sense for his career. He takes over Mickey's gym.
But
becomes a trainer. That makes a lot of sense.
So here's some things.
I'm going to try and say the positives.
Because I have some problems. I have some story.
You have some problems with this? Is it that he comes back from Russia, which is like the next day, and his kid is magically 4 years older than he was in the last movie?
So there's that.
Is it the first shot you see of Rocky is of him like in a statuesque pose, and the first thing you see is literally a shot up his ass?
No, it's more like storyline things, not like aesthetic
things. Go for it.
No.
Is it that this movie is like, hey, by the way, the answer to all your problems is violence?
Here's my thing about Rocky.
Is it that one little girl says to his kid, hey, you got a nice butt for an Italian kid. Racist. I call you racist, madam.
Are you just lost because you're an Italian kid who has no butt?
I have no butt.
Okay.
It is a pancake.
So
I can say that.
Here's my thing. and hear me out, okay? So we're led to believe that Rocky has lost all of his money because of Paulie. First of all, if Rocky was like the superstar he was, he still had to have a manager, right? Even after Apollo died and even after Mickey died. Do you think Duke was going to let him mismanage his money that poorly? And furthermore...
I think Duke was like, good, meaning you caused Apollo to die.
Yeah.
Duke secretly hates him.
Furthermore, okay, Rocky's like the most marketable thing. Why couldn't... You mean to tell me that nobody would have him do some commercials, make a little coin there?
Where he steals mainly. Because, he's still heavyweight champion of the world at this time.
Yeah. So he still is like marketable and has money, has value. But then like even more on top of that, okay? So yeah, his kid is aged incredibly. He comes back and all of a sudden he's a bum and nobody wants anything to do with him.
This movie has a lot of dead actors in it now. Because like his kid's played by his son Sage, who died at 36, I think. It doesn't sound like anything bad. He just had like a heart attack, I think it was. Like one of those like kind of heart attacks that just comes on out of nowhere and just drops you.
Yeah, sudden cardiac arrest.
Well, there's something, I don't remember. You'd have to look it up. We got Burgess Meredith is in there in a flashback, which is my least favorite part of the movie. Because it doesn't sound like any dialogue Mickey would ever say except for one line. He's getting real emotional. It's supposed to be like a flashback to Rocky 1. He's like being real happy and peppy with him, saying how much he cares about him. He's like, just remember, Mickey loves you. He does have one line where it's like, in your, like if you're having trouble in your ear, you go down, you'll hear Mickey just going, "Get up, you son of a bitch," which is the only Mickey thing he says.
I would, yeah. Except for he told him to stay down in the first movie.
Fair. But yeah, I don't like that scene with Burgess Meredith. It's also kind of sad to watch because he's so frail and so old at that point. You're like, that's not 1976, Mickey. That's, no. Burgess Meredith on death's door.
Here's my other big problem, okay? The world of boxing is built on respect. It's built on paying your dues. There's no place on the planet, no gym on the planet that would have the former, even technically still current world heavyweight champion carrying spit buckets.
Yeah.
Zero.
No.
There's so much wrong with Rocky V.
And then we get Tommy the Machine Gun.
Which we also are starting to get into the really ridiculous names of the boxers.
He was a real fighter. He's dead now as well.
Yes, he is.
Look him up. He is fascinatingly weird. It's like he had like 2 wives in 1996.
Everyone was doing that in 96.
He got HIV somewhere.
So probably not one of his 2 wives.
No, he had more than 2 wives, but yeah, he said like that he lost all his money just to like his fast and crazy lifestyle. Like there's so many, like if you're trying to look him up, there's so many weird gaps in his personal history. You're like, who were you crazy mulleted man?
Nobody knows.
He's strong as hell. Like you can see him in the movie. Like he's got a fighter's build. He's strong and fast.
He gets laid out over the hood of a friggin' sedan.
That's in the movie, but just in general, like he's built like a tank.
Sue me. For what?
Assault. It's always assault.
Yeah, it's 100% assault.
Yeah, we meet, what's his name? George Washington.
I think it's like George Washington Duke or something like that. It's discount Don King, really.
Yeah, it's all he's supposed to be.
Yeah, George Washington Duke is his name, yeah.
I don't want to call him Duke because of the other Duke.
Well, his fighter was Union Kane.
But, yeah, so George Washington Duke, who is just supposed to be Don King.
Yes.
Tries to get Rocky back into fighting, even though Rocky has brain damage now and could never absolutely fight no matter what ever again. Let's ignore that in the next movie. He wants to get Rocky back in the ring, and then he steals Rocky's protege. I don't know. I don't really care about a Rocky movie that doesn't involve Rocky
fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can when we do get to Creed, like, you find a way for me to care about Rocky, but Rocky isn't our focus. The ending is the silliest ending we've had so far, which is saying a lot considering Rocky ended the Cold War in the last movie.
Yeah, Rocky's done a lot. Like, again, the fact that nobody could find something for Rocky to do in life just goes to speak of, like, how bad the people of Philadelphia are.
Yeah, Tommy the Machine Gun punches out Paulie in the bar that Rocky goes to sometimes. And, it looks like they're about to throw down, and George Washington Duke, he's like, in the ring! Tommy Gunn only fights in the ring! And
my ring is outside.
Yeah, and then Rocky says that. Then we get the start of the fight theme, and you're just like, oh my god, really?
Yeah.
And they go outside where they have a bare-knuckle brawl. It's recorded on the news. And Tommy Gunn obviously loses to brain-damaged Rocky, only for him to approach George Washington Duke, who's just like, touch me and I'll sue. Come on, punk. Touch me and I'll sue. Just egging him on.
Yeah. So he does.
Lays his ass out on the hood of a car.
Yeah. Rocky owes some people some money.
Sue me for what? As we mentioned, assault.
Yeah, always assault.
You just can't punch a man for egging you on.
So after Rocky serves a prison sentence, he's able to open up a restaurant.
Well, I do like the end of Rocky V. For all of the structural and awfulness of it, and things that don't make sense, and, Adrian being the ball of fun that she is throughout the entire thing. Probably her, naggiest movie yet. Rocky does go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art with his kid. He's like, for as many times as I've run up these steps, I've never actually seen what's inside. They go in, you get the whole credit scene is just a touching black and white montage of all 5 Rocky movies. It was kind of weird seeing Rocky 5 in there. I'm like, I know, I just watched it.
Yeah.
It hasn't been that long. It's not that long of a movie.
But it feels like it's very long.
Yeah. And, at the time, for as bad as the movie was, it was at least a conclusion.
So we thought.
Yeah, that was 1990. 16 years later. Oh, the movies, boy. It gives you a reason to love the franchise again, because it gets good.
Oh, I mean, we get a...
Unfortunate fault of not calling it Rocky 6.
Yes.
So, minus points there.
I like that they call it Rocky Balboa, though. It's kind of in a lot of ways, it feels like a reboot.
It's cyclical, you can call it that. Because, once again, this was supposed to be the end of the franchise.
Yep.
It wasn't. We're going to get a lot of those in this world.
Yes. But we get Rocky again. Rocky's kind of stable, but he's lost almost everybody in his life. Well, at least he lost Adrian.
Adrian died of cancer. Paulie is still Paulie, who has his job back at the meat factory. Sometimes he has that in certain movies, sometimes he doesn't. Kind of switches movie to movie.
Still has Duke in his corner.
His kid is estranged. I love that, because around the time I was, the winter this came out, I had just moved to Jersey, a couple months prior.
Yeah.
So it was real interesting, kind of seeing that whole culture at the time, of people kind of getting, psyched for this movie, and having people talk to me about it, in things that I didn't really understand. Oh yeah, his kid, he's working in one of, the newest buildings that just came up in Philly, and Rocky's kind of, down in the old school Philly and all this kind of stuff. Things I never would have known, so it was real interesting being in the area at the time.
But you get, the reconciliation of Rocky and his kid, which they immediately dismiss in the next movie, but
yeah.
Regardless, again, you start to get the mainstream. It shows also the one thing I liked about Rocky Balboa and Creed is they show how mainstream Rocky Balboa the character has become. When you look at how they integrate ESPN and HBO and use some of those.
Yeah, they shoot the fight that they shot that right after
a legitimate fight at the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, there's a pay-per-view fight, and they said, hey, if you guys want to be extras in a Rocky movie, just stay in your seats. We'll sign paperwork on the way out.
And a lot of people stayed.
Yeah. I suppose I like boxing. I like Rocky.
Yeah, be part of a movie.
This is the movie, to me, that feels the most transparent. And not in a bad way. Just you can see it's still, Rocky will give a couple of monologues, and you can see, it's 100... It's not Rocky saying those things, it's Stallone. Especially when he goes to, the boxing commission to get his license. It's hey, have you had, a thing that you wanted to finish, and, people tell you shouldn't, but, fuck all those people. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
What's wrong with standing toe-to-toe and saying I am? I'm mixing a couple of monologues, but you get the gist. That was Stallone talking about the Rocky franchise. I didn't leave it right, and it feels wrong, and I gotta do something with it.
And he did. I felt like he fixed it. I love the alternate ending. Do you know there's an alternate ending?
I don't like the alternate ending.
I'm glad they didn't use it. Yeah,
the one where Rocky wins. So glad they didn't go with Rocky wins. Rocky has to lose.
Rocky has to, because first of all,
it's not about that. It's about him getting over the death of his wife.
Yeah, and in all reality, he would probably lose.
Yeah, 100%.
To Mason the Line Dixon,
who was also a real fighter.
Yes, who was kind of modeled after Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, but I love that movie. It hits me in all the right places. It's the first real Rocky movie to me since Rocky 1. I put this as my number 2 Rocky movie of all time.
Really?
It's so solid.
I thought you would put Creed at your number 2.
I love Creed. I'll put Creed at number 3. But I gotta go with Rocky Balboa just because I've known that character for so much longer that Creed is probably a better movie, but I still like Balboa a bit more.
Because you like Rocky.
Because it comes down to Rocky.
Yeah.
But it's just so solid. I love the montage. I love that they deal with the age. And sometimes they go a little too far with the jokes. Mason the Line Dixon goes into 3-6 Mafia and Stallone goes into Sinatra.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that is a little too far.
I like the one with like, was that from the 70s? More like the 80s.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, that what was like, hey, it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, what was that, from the 80s? That was more like the 70s.
Yeah, but it's solid. It's emotional. It's the most emotional Rocky movie I think that's out there. For as much fun as Adrian was.
You're going through grieving, like Rocky grieving. So Rocky's vulnerable.
I love him running the restaurant and having all the photos up, and he just, makes his living telling old boxing stories. And for as much as I kind of dislike Paulie, I like him going in and be like, what, Italian food cooked up by a bunch of Mexicans? Like, harsh, Paulie. Yeah. Or having Spider Rico be there. What a weird callback to Rocky 1. Like, the first boxing match you see is with Rocky and Spider Rico. It's so great.
Where Rocky low blows him.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to play a PlayStation 2 game, go play the Rocky PlayStation 2 game. You can pump that out in an hour.
Yeah.
I've done it. I played it once. I was like, oh, that's over.
Da, 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 da.
You literally do every fight. Like, even if it was like a background thing or a thing in a newspaper, you just go through every fight Rocky had. You can pump that game out in an hour.
Wow. If you're good at it.
No, it's not very hard.
Oh.
I just did it. I just sat down and played it. It was like, boy, glad I didn't pay $60 for that.
Did you need all 15 rounds to beat Apollo Creed?
I don't remember. I played it once 10 years ago, and I did it in an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay, good for you. So now we move on.
Yeah, so
to the latest installment.
To a wonderful finale. No reason to bring Rocky back again. For the third time, I would say that. To a movie that when it was announced, I was like, I'm excited, but I think this is stupid. And I was deeply mistaken.
You were savagely wrong.
What a fantastic movie. Stallone is out as director and writer. He's just in there as a producer and as an actor. We are replaced with relative newcomer Ryan Coogler, who's only done one movie before this, Fruitvale Station, starring Michael B. Jordan, the upcoming director for Black Panther. Hey, it all ties in with what's coming up soon.
Yes.
There we go. All right, found a reason.
Michael B. Jordan is also in Black Panther.
Yeah, who's also just a fantastic actor.
Yes.
But we get the story of Creed, and I'll hit the thing that I kind of like gets me an eyebrow raise for this movie. We have Adonis Creed, the illegitimate son of Apollo. There is like one shot in, I want to say Rocky 4, of Apollo has two other kids. We only see them briefly.
Yeah.
Oh, so briefly. They just run through one shot. And when this movie was announced, I thought that we were going to get like that kid growing up. But instead we get an illegitimate child that he had with another woman, which I was like, do we need that? Do we need Apollo to be a little bit worse? I would have just gone with, me as having no role in whatsoever in any of this. I just would have gone with like his legitimate child versus the illegitimate one.
The thing I think the reason they do that is because now the kid can hide behind the Johnson name.
I know. It was just kind of like
Hollywood Donnie Johnson.
Makes him
somewhere the real Don Johnson's going, what the hell?
It brings Apollo down a bit, is really what it comes down to. Yeah.
And they address it in the movie.
I know,
it's like, no, it doesn't. Does it embarrass him? Yeah, but does it change how good he was? No.
Oh, yeah, for, what do they call it?
PTI. It was part of the interruption that was talking about that.
Yeah, I don't know those. I've seen them, but I don't know them well enough.
Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon.
Names of people.
Yes.
Faces I know.
Because they talk about sports ball.
Yeah,
and touch points.
But yeah, we got Adonis Creed who wants to become a boxer. It's a little bit Rocky 1. Like, he starts off doing these, like, low-rent things, kind of like Rocky with Spider Rico.
Well, but he's going to Mexico to fight.
Yeah, but still, it's that low-rent kind of area. And then he goes to Philadelphia to train and he finds Rock in the restaurant. And something that I love so much. He introduces himself, says who he is. He goes, hey, I heard there was a third fight between you and Apollo behind closed doors. Who won? Love it.
So here's my problem with that.
Oh, I love it. I don't care.
No, I love it. I like that. But Marianne, Apollo's wife, right?
Yeah.
Helps set Adonis up with this career, this life, treats it, pretty much raises him as her son.
Which is so sweet.
Which is great. But here's my problem, okay? It's not that she did all these nice things. It's that he knows all these things. And where's he getting these stories? From her. Okay, so she's telling him about his father and all these boxing stories, how he was so great. And then she gets mad when he wants to be a boxer.
Well, she talks about stuff that's like, do you know how many times I had to drag him up the stairs, wipe his ass when he couldn't? Like, that's real stuff, and that is also depressing as all hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's real. You get struck in the head enough.
Yeah.
But boy, and I love it when he's like, heard there was a third fight. Who won? And Rocky just goes, he did. I love it. I don't know if he's telling the truth. I don't know if he's lying. I don't care. I love that that's what he...
I believe that Apollo won that third fight.
I could go either way on it, but I don't care. Like, I love that that's what Rocky did. I love that he can go, like, it's a secret, it's not anything. Just says to his kid, he won, and I love it.
But it's funny because I watch it, and I was like, when he said that, and the kid left, and Rocky goes, actually, no, I beat the hell out of him. TKO in the first round, baby.
That would have been much more different things. Like, yeah, your dad, he wasn't the best. I was the best.
Yeah, I kicked his
Rocky.
ass.
I mean, for me, I love Rocky in this movie. I think this is the best acting Stallone has done, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Not Rocky, just in general. This is the best acting Stallone has done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he hits emotional beats. Rocky, like Adrian, gets cancer. And when he gets told, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And he just says that he's not going to get chemo because he watched his wife go through it.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
It's insanely emotional. But for as much as I love that, our focus is, Adonis Creed training with Rocky.
I love some of the lines when Rocky's training him, too.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's like, that bell doesn't mean school's out, Donnie. It means hell. It's like, oh, wow.
He's getting chemo. Later, he gets chemo.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, one-arm push-ups. Like,
no,
so compassionate, Rocky.
No, he's like sitting there, he's like, I used to do those with one arm, but I wasn't going to say anything.
It's a great movie. He makes him catch a chicken, Rocky 2 style. Chickens are getting slower.
Yeah.
It's just...
But some of the other lines, like, see the guy looking back at you? He's your biggest enemy. Like, he's your biggest obstacle.
These are the best fights we've ever... Like, hands down. Like, the best shot fights we've seen in a Rocky movie.
Different angles we haven't seen before.
I think my favorite, it was... I guess it would be technically the second boxing match, but you have Adonis in the ring when he's, like, being really boastful to the guy who's being boastful. It's supposed to be Duke's kid.
Yeah.
But he, like, offers up his car, and he goes up against the... What was it? Like, third ranked pound for pound?
Yeah.
Or was it second? I don't remember. But he gets knocked to the ground, and they have some kind of rig that has to, like... I imagine the rig would have been around his waist, because the camera follows his entire fall to the ground and hits, and it's this amazing shot. I think it's my favorite shot in the movie. They must have had a rig around his waist and kind of on his arm, but it's great. It's just a great movie. And the final fight is fantastic. The one thing that's a little unbelievable for me in it is we go into round 12, final round of the fight, and
his eyes,
100% closed. And Rocky, who didn't throw in the towel for Apollo. By the way, if you haven't watched these movies, this is all gibberish.
Yeah, you're like, what?
But Rocky didn't throw in the towel for Apollo. So instead, when he needs to throw in the towel for Adonis, instead he taps him on the back of the head. So when the ref is saying how many fingers, and he's tapping it out for him.
Was it him or was it Stitch, the cut man, who was doing it? I thought it was Stitch.
I thought it was Rocky.
It was Stitch.
Well,
I'm pretty sure because he's wearing latex gloves like the cut man would. Rocky wasn't wearing latex gloves.
Oh boy, I wonder. I thought it was Rocky. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was Stitch.
Okay, that would make more sense because, like, why would Rocky do that?
Yeah.
He should have thrown in the towel for Apollo. I guess that makes more sense. Maybe I need
Also, why didn't they cut his eye?
I don't think you can cut that.
Oh.
That thing, I mean, I know it's just movie makeup, but that's not going down.
Not anytime immediately.
No. But the end is my favorite, which, we've waited the whole time. We've heard little hints like, da-da-da, but that's about all you've heard. And you don't hear it, like, big and up front. It's just kind of subtle in the back of the music. But we go into that final round, and they hit us with the boxing theme, and it pumps you up so hard. Like, yes, bitch! It's a Rocky movie.
Yeah.
We're getting into this final round action. We don't know who's going to win. Thankfully, I think rightfully so, Creed loses.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I liked, kind of like when he gets knocked down and Pretty Ricky's up on the ropes celebrating, and he, like, gets up. It reminded me of that beat when Apollo looked like he's celebrating. He turns and he sees Rocky gets back up, and he's just like,
and Apollo has that kind of, like, head drop, like, God damn it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this to this man anymore.
And that weird, that shot of, like, that's a little silly too. Like when he's, like, in his own head unconscious, that he sees an image of Apollo, he's like,
yeah,
it's a little silly.
I wonder how much money Carl Weathers got paid for that.
It must have been something because he refused to have his likeness used in Rocky Balboa. That's a true story. Fun facts. But yeah, then we get the end, which is totally unrealistic because they pull up in front of the Philadelphia Museum of Art in a van and just park it. You can't do it. There's no parking there. Traffic is nonstop. I don't care what time of day it is. It ain't gonna happen. It's illegal and dangerous.
Thank you.
But the two of them walk up the steps.
And they celebrate.
And, it could be once again, a perfect end to this franchise. If there was nothing else, you could have ended with the two of them looking out over the Philadelphia skyline. But we're getting another. We also didn't mention Tessa Thompson, who's awesome in this. We saw her recently in Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, she was really good.
Yeah, she's really solid.
In both.
I like her a lot. She's good. I've only seen her in 2 things, I think, but I've liked her in both.
Yeah, she has not been bad. She's not disappointed.
Again, if, I knew they were probably going to try and do a sequel, but if you ended with Creed, I could have bought that as the end of the franchise. I do wish they didn't do the title crawl, or the, side-scrolling. I wish they had done that. When I first watched the movie, when I was seeing it in the theaters, they just, popped the title Creed. I'm like, a proper Rocky movie has a side-scrolling title going across, but, yeah.
Or a couple of gloves exploding in the background.
I said a proper Rocky movie.
Oh, sorry. Fair enough.
But it's solid. I mean, there are 3 movies in this franchise I love. Pretty okay with another one, and then there are 3 that I'm kind of on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Rocky is such a piece of Americana.
The ones that I love are just so strong. Strong, good, solid movies.
I'm pretty sure that the first Rocky movie is one of those movies that they put in the Library of Congress.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Let's see, real quick, as I look at it. Rocky. Oh, yeah, it is. It's selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Conference for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Good, because it's one of the best movies of all time. By the time we get to Rocky 3, we're literally watching a comic book. But
yes.
Yeah, I love this franchise. I love these movies. Or I love half of them. It was so funny. I had a guy who listens to the show talking to me at the store. They're like, you and Jared, you guys have no reason to be friends. You have nothing in common. I'm like, bitch, we got Rocky.
Who said we have no reason to be friends? There's nothing in common. Listen, whoever said that, first of all, Zach and I are very good friends. Number 2, would you want to listen to a show where we agreed with each other all the time and we had the same exact viewpoint and you got stereo viewpoints and stereo sound and all that? No, you don't. You like that we have clash. That's a good part of a show.
I thought you were going to say class. I'm like, no.
No, I have class. You don't.
You have nothing.
You're drinking whiskey out of a plastic bottle.
This is out of a tumbler.
Yeah, but it came out of a plastic bottle beforehand.
You're drinking Coors Light out of a can.
Yeah, well, you know what? At least I can get money back for mine.
You got money back for that? 15 cents.
Yeah, they should pay you 15 cents. You couldn't pay me 15 cents to drink Canadian whiskey.
I couldn't pay you 15 cents to have any kind of palate for booze. I don't know I'd have to pay you 15 cents. It's a low bar, but whenever you have anything quality, you're like, I can't taste it. You have no palate.
No, I have an okay palate. You made me drink gasoline one time.
That was brilliant stuff.
That was brilliant. I didn't taste anything right for 2 weeks. Pretty sure I burnt fire.
That's the Rocky franchise, man. I love it. Maybe the problem with this whole franchise is you really can't skip any of them.
Sure you can.
If you want to watch it.
You can skip 5. Because Rocky Balboa kind of retcons 5.
I mean,
because he's supposed to never be allowed to fight again.
They still do, but it still deals with a kid, and he still references home team.
All right, well,
he also does this when he says it. I don't know why I had to literally mimic Stallone's movements.
I don't know.
The fists together. Yeah, I mean, they're all interconnected.
I think
a damn good franchise.
Yeah, you can't really.
Also, the best long-running sports franchise.
You can't really pick it up in the middle of any of them. You kind of have to watch them all, I guess, to get a full understanding. It'd be hard to come into Creed. I guess you could watch Creed as a standalone movie, and it might generate interest.
Do you like any sports movies more than these? I can put some others up there, like Slapshot or Bad News Bears, but I think Rocky does win for me 100%.
I don't know. There are a lot of really good sports movies. Remember the Titans? But there's no sports franchise like this. I'm trying to think the other sports movie franchises like Mighty Ducks, Major League. Major League's a good movie. Major League 2 is pretty good too.
I don't think I've ever seen. I've seen the first one. I don't think I've ever seen the second.
Other sports movies. Slapshot. I can't believe you referenced Slapshot.
Slapshot's hilarious.
What are you doing? Putting on the foil, coach, every game. Dave's a killer. Dave's a mess.
I think I'm a lesbian. I get that. Women are beautiful things. Men are disgusting.
That is good. That is a very
That's
good.
a great scene.
Slapshot is a good movie. Other sports movies. Friday Night Lights was a pretty good one. Pretty good football movie. I don't know. There's a lot of Rudy. Yeah. Yep, Rudy. Hoosiers. I think Rocky is as much a sports movie as it is.
I'm interested in the character as much as I'm interested in the sport, which I can't say for a lot of other.
I think that's the difference. I think it's the big difference between that and like With Rudy, yeah, I mean, you kind
never
of get
saw
behind Rudy, and you're rooting for him, and you're pulling for him, and that's character driven.
Weren't there like 4 Bad News Bears? I've only seen one, but I think there were 4.
Did you see
of
the
those.
original Bad News Bears or the one with
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton?
No, I've only seen the original.
But I think the difference between Rocky and a movie like Rudy or Hoosiers or Mighty Ducks or Remember the Titans is not, obviously A is a franchise and it's multiple, but
Following one guy versus the whole team, maybe connect with that like one individual versus, picking and choosing characters that you like for an ensemble.
there's that, but I also feel like in those, like, the sport is what drives the story. In Rocky, the boxing sometimes is almost secondary to the character study. Where in like a movie like Remember the Titans, they use football to drive the story. In Rocky, boxing, the actual boxing is only like is really the third act usually.
Yeah.
It's such a cathartic journey. For the good Rocky movies are cathartic journeys for Rocky. The bad Rocky movies are just bad.
Our music videos. That's Rocky. And all the movies will cover Rocky 8 later this year.
All right. Now we go on to letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
New question, new week.
All right. Cooks. I don't want to answer the same questions over and over again.
What do you think the biggest flop of 2018 will be?
I don't know, because the year 2018 has already brought us the term poop knife, so... Have you not heard this yet?
No.
Oh. Do you know what a poop knife is?
No.
Do you want to know what a poop knife is?
I desperately don't.
I'm going to tell you what a poop knife is. I just learned today. I had a snow day, so I was kind of perusing the internet, and it was like, terms that you didn't need to know, but now you know because of 2018. Poop knife is a knife that you have in your house to... I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. To adjust the shape and or size of the deposit in your toilet so it will not clog.
Interesting.
There you go. I've made your life.
Slicing excrement. Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not a flop of a movie.
A flop of a movie in 2018?
I know where I want to go. Ooh, there may be 2. I have 2 potentials.
I'm worried for Aquaman.
Aquaman is my first one.
Yes.
I feel like enough ill will has been brought to it, even though they have a director that's interesting, even if it's a potentially good movie. I feel like there's just too many strikes against this franchise, and for them to go, hey, guess what? Aquaman.
Yes.
I feel like that movie is gonna maybe not tank Justice League hard, but still probably tank.
It's not going to be a fecal fillet. I just thought of that in my head about the poop knife.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome
so much.
Yeah. You don't see that on the late night Ronco infomercials.
I bet Han Solo is going to have a strong opening weekend, and usually you'll see about a 40% drop weekend 2 for average movie. I bet you'll see a 60 to 65% drop off with weekend 2.
Is that really a flop, though, if it's going to win a box office weekend?
It'll win the weekend, no question. It's a Star Wars movie. People who want that are going to go out. But I bet it's going to underperform compared to every other Star Wars movie that we've seen thus far.
I'm looking at 2018 movies because I'm trying to think, because I'm having a hard time thinking in my head.
Yeah, and that's my... Throwing it out now. 65% drop-off weekend 2 for Han Solo.
Let's see, what else have we got here? Maybe Pacific Rim Uprising?
I hope not.
Tomb Raider definitely has a feeling. Venom?
We'll see.
Mission Impossible 6.
It's got that mustache money behind it.
The Predator? There's a Predator movie coming out this year?
Yeah, Shane Black's doing it. It's
wow.
kind of a reboot. I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe one of those Dean Cain movies. Oh, no, I know what it's going to be. I found it. Bumblebee, the movie.
That's going to make $1 billion.
You think so?
You can't kill these Transformers movies. Somehow, you can't kill them.
They're bringing back Death Wish.
Yeah, with Bruce Willis. It looks awful. But my money's on Han Solo or Aquaman.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably maybe Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah, I was really...
Oh, you know what? X-Men Dark Phoenix.
It'll perform, I bet.
It'll perform, but do you think it's going to have the big drop-off?
Not for the time of year it's coming out.
What kind of sequels do we have coming out in 2018? I'm actually excited for Incredibles 2.
I haven't seen the first one in many years, but yeah.
That's a good movie. There's a Mamma Mia sequel. Sherlock Gnomes. Ocean's 8. Anyway, I don't know.
So our answer's Han Solo or Aquaman.
No, my answer is just Aquaman.
Okay, fine.
Or Bumblebee.
Or Bumblebee. I disagree. That movie's going to make money for some reason. That's the show, I guess.
What do we got next week?
Oh, we're going to do I want to try something out. We got a couple of them coming up. I want to try theme months. We did it once.
Okay.
For like Harry Potter, we did like a month of like
In November.
magical.
We did
the hell.
horror in October.
Christmas and Halloween, I'm not really counting, but outside of that, so leading very intentionally up for a certain amount of time, just because we've both seen movies, and I know that you're a fan. We're gonna do a Kevin Smith's DC Universe month.
Ooh, I do like Kevin Smith.
Which is going to be for not everything that he's done for DC, but kind of stuff of his own work that influences the DC universe, but is also interconnected from kind of book to book with him, even if it's going from title to title, all leading up to our Valentine's show. And if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't had a chance to read the book yet.
Well, it's also 4 weeks away.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to do I'm going to try theme months out and see what people think of them.
Oh, okay.
Like in the kind of what if there isn't like a big thing coming out to try and do a theme. So I was thinking about we're going to do a Kevin Smith DC month. And I think in March, do like an origin month. Like we did like that Black Panther one a couple shows ago.
Yes.
Do something like that for
the people of Wakanda.
We'll hit up like a bunch of like, hey, these are the first appearances of characters, these are the origins. So, just a thought. If people like it, we can try more theme things, but just an experiment.
Why not? What have we got to lose?
Nothing really, except for listeners.
Well, we're also closing out on episode 100.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. If you want, help us out. Send an email, send a tweet, send a carrier pigeon.
Smoke signal, bouquet of flowers.
The flower.
Money.
Send letters for the 100th episode. Specify that you want it to be for the 100th. I want to try and build that out, and hopefully we're going to have something extra going on in that show. But
how far away from 100 are we?
5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
Have that be kind of an extravaganza show. Like, hopefully we can record it in more than one night so we don't have to do it all at once. But that's just for us personally.
That's mostly because you have to do the editing.
But yeah, I want to do a biggie, including kind of an extended, instead of just doing one letter, kind of a barrage of things that we can hit, along with other things that are planned. One of them is Black Panther. We're doing Black Panther that week. It's just when Black Panther comes out.
Yes.
But yeah, so send us letters for the 100th episode. If you send them, we'll read them.
It's usually how that works. Anyway, where are we going to find you?
EditorsNoteComics.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to get the show a day early, Patreon.com/EditorsNoteComics, $1 a month. Or more. And
210 Water Street in Hollowell, or you can just ride an iceberg down the Kennebec River and just hop off at the store.
You'd be shocked how many people sent me, 1, messages of concern asking how things were, and also a water-related joke.
Just remember, it takes more than one drop to make an ocean.
Yeah, and you're on Twitter.
I am on Twitter, @JuniorRich.
But yeah, we'll be back next week for, an experiment of a themed month.
Green Arrow.
We'll just see the listenership drop. We don't care about your themed month.
I'll give you a theme.
Yeah, see you then.